Alrighty folks, the chest press is the most difficult movement for people to really get right. I still struggle with it, and I've been using the X3 for 4 years now. I'm going to coach this in what I consider to be the most effective way of understanding this. Setup is very important, and your mindset and where you're thinking about this movement, working your body, is extraordinarily important, right? We have to have a really good mind-body connection. If you don't have it, this will develop it. Right? So as you learn how to do this movement better. So what I like to tell people on this, the chest press is not an arm press. It is not a shoulder press. It is a chest press. So I want you to think about your pecs. You have these pec muscles, right? Look up the muscles so you can have visually, this is what they look like. This is your pec muscle. So it attaches your humerus, the top of your humerus, into your sternum. And it crosses over at this slight downward angle for most people. Some people, their pec attaches slightly more down, which is they will have much larger pecs more than likely, and they'll have significantly more power on chest press type movements. But yeah, where your muscles attach will slightly vary from person to person. And it does give some people a very natural, massive mechanical advantage in some movements like the chest press, shoulder press, bench press, etc. Anyways, so what I have people doing for this, we'll go over the setup, how do I get this on my body, and then how do I actually move my body through the movement. So first off, this will be done with a double loop. So I have the whole thing around in this double loop. Both sides are going to go around my back. This is the first setup, and I'm going to tell you that I do not like it. I don't think it's easiest to get into, because the way I actually prefer to is a pain to get into, but when you get it right, it works. The band needs to be underneath your shoulder blades, ideally. The band's also going to come around your upper arm. So if that bothers your skin, have a shirt, have sleeves to go around that, because it can't pull on the hair or pull on the skin, and it's uncomfortable. Right. So band is either right below your shoulder blades. I have them right on the bottom of my shoulder blades, and that stays up well. There's a couple of things going on here, because there's a lot of moving parts. All right. So as I'm going through this, I have a slight downward press in my movement, and that's because one that follows the line, the striation of my pecs really well. They don't come out in front of me. I can work, absolutely, but you will see that whenever I'm doing this, I have a slight downward incline at about that kind of angle. All right, how else can I put this on my body? Having it cross over my back, exactly the same way as in the tricep press. So if I have it like this, I take out one loop, I twist that just one time, 180 degrees, and I put that in. So now it is an X, okay? I'm gonna put my arm through one side, and don't rely on me explaining this to get this right. You have to practice this. There's no getting around it. This is a pain in the ass to really get right. Practice it. Play around just with this. Take it off until you get it right. Do that. Don't just give up because you messed up the one time. Kids these days. All right. So the inside of the band, where it comes to the inside of the hooks, that should be going up around the shoulders, and then the outside is going down and up your back. Hands go underneath everything, and now it's going to very easily stay in position. Because otherwise, you can understand if it's one line going around my back, it can move. It typically will come up along the back, especially when you have the smaller bands. But personal preference on it as well. All right, so that's the setup. How do we actually do this movement? What I do is pull my shoulders back, and I'm thinking about stretching out my pecs as much as I can, and then pulling my shoulders forward, thinking about contracting the pecs as much as I can. I'm not thinking about working the shoulders, I'm not thinking about working my arms or my elbows. So when I do this, everyone can do this. Sorry, everyone do this. Stand up right now, go through this movement with me. Don't just imagine it, actually move your shoulders. Shrug your shoulders back like you're trying to squeeze your shoulder blades together, and then squeeze them in front. You're trying to stretch the pecs, contract the pecs. Stretch the pecs, contract the pecs. All right, now do that exact same thing with your arms out in front of you. So arms are out. You can go ahead and slightly bend your elbows just to mimic the actual movement you'll be doing, because we don't lock out the joints on this. Pull your shoulders back, pull them forth. So I'm thinking about my arms are being casted. You see how my elbows are not moving? That's the way we're going to start off this movement. So I'm going to, from here, press that out. Elbows do not lock out. Elbows are still slightly bent. And I'm going to shrug my shoulders back, shrug them together. All of my focus is on the pec, right? On this shortening and lengthening, shortening and lengthening. Elbows do not move. This is my full range chest press, not shoulder press. If you start to feel it more in the front of your shoulder, that may just be something that you're experiencing at the start of the movement, as they do need to get stronger. If you're feeling it more in the triceps, you're moving your elbows and you're treating it like a tricep press, whether by intention or not. So focus on just getting it out, lock the elbows in place, and then learn to move the shoulders without moving the elbows. And then as that fatigues and it's like, I can't press it anymore, let your elbows bend, refreeze them. So it's more of an angle in the elbows, freeze it there, do not move it now. And now repeat, shoulders doing all of the action. And then you can go a little bit more in if you need to, but when you're actually doing the reps, just focus all on the pecs doing the work. This is a very light band for me, but having that focus just on the pecs, so it gives a burn. I usually use the black band for this. This is the light gray band. This still burns. It's still working. You just have to go nice and slow and controlled. And it's not moving around my back at all, which is what I love with that. The other tip, same piece of advice that you get for doing overhead presses or a bench press, break the bar in half. Now, normally during this kind of movement or during a push-up, handstand push-up, we want to see the elbows in, right? So during a bench press, elbows should be facing forward. They should not be out to the sides. Same thing with press-ups. You don't do press-ups here, press-ups are here. It's the same thing how when we do squats, the knees drive out, they don't drive in. It's the exact opposite, just because the hinge is the other direction. For pressing movements, elbows in. That creates stability through the shoulder. What does that actually look like? When I take elbows in, I'm creating this rotation through the shoulders. This is a good posture. If I go the other way, and that keeps going, that's what we call slouching. This is not sexy. If I was walking down the street, you'd be like, what's wrong with that guy? But if I'm here, you'd be like, dude, that's what's up. That's exactly how that works. We know what good posture is. So break the bar in half. However, when I'm going through this, see how quickly I get into the band. You can't go elbows in as far as possible. If I break the bar in half, it does actually work with this setup. When you have the bands around the outside of your arms, is what I meant to show with this. Having the elbows in too much, it makes it kind of awkward because the band kind of has tension around the outside of your arm and that helps it to stay in place. And so it can go down a little bit. So having the elbows out a little bit helps to keep it in place. So just keep that in mind. But if you have this kind of setup, elbows in, I'm trying to rotate and break the bar in half. I'm trying to actually bend the bar. That's what I'm doing there. So even if it doesn't look like my elbows are all the way in, that doesn't matter. The intention is there, so the musculature is driving towards that direction. The expression will vary from person to person, but that doesn't matter. The technique is all the same. All right, so take that out and then just have a sense of playing with this, of practicing this, that you're trying to think and feel the pecs doing all the work for you. It will take weeks or even months to get that perfect. Keep trying.